The Giraffe Attack Trap. After the common standard opening e4, e5, you play bishop to c4, developing the bishop. Some greedy players might try to grab your free pawn by playing queen to g5. You let them grab the pawn by playing knight to f3. You are making your development stronger, and most importantly, you are tempting your opponent to grab this undefended pawn. They will take it, and you move your rook to g1 under the protection of the knight, but at the same time, you attack the queen. The only safe square for the queen is to play h3, and now you strike the center with pawn to d4. In this position, you have a dominant position, and even if your opponent isn't careful with that, if, for example, they take the pawn on d4, all you have to do is sacrifice the bishop and fork the couple. You may be thinking, what if the king didn't take the bishop? For example, if the king moves to d8, well, the other reason we play bishop takes f7 is to control the h5 square. So now we play rook to g1 and trap the queen. It's one of the weirdest openings, and still, as of October 24th, 2025, no one has made a video about it, so I am the first one. The I don't say it opening. It starts with e4, e6, also known as the French defense. Then it's d4, with black responding by playing d5. You defend your pawn with bishop to d3. Then there's knight to c6, followed by bishop to e3. Your opponent keeps developing their pieces, bringing another knight to f6, but you're not bothered by this. You're too busy building the rest of the After castling, your opponent will probably try to attack that pawn, but you defend it with pawn to f3, knight g4, then bishop to f4 for safety. Pawn g5, bishop g3, pawn h5, and pawn to h3 to kick that knight. Knight to f6, and the bishop takes a scenic route to complete the bishop d7, then bishop back to e3. Your opponent doesn't care about your and wants to destroy it, so he plays pawn to a6. You respond by kicking his bishop out with pawn to b4. After your opponent moves his bishop to safety, you finally develop your queen to b3. And finally, you bring out the first ball of the rook to c1. In this position, after black plays any move, you just castle, completing the and balls. Maybe for the last time in this game, you see a structure that looks like a Bongcloud. If you have full disrespect for your opponent, play this opening. Just push the e-pawn and pretend to play a normal opening. Then move your king to e2. This makes you waste 2 moves, makes your king vulnerable, and ruins your castling plan. With all of this, if you win the game, it's a big disrespect for your opponent. Play this opening only online. If you play and win it over the board, that might make your opponent punch you in the face, leading to a knockout and severe health issues. Mega Bongcloud. If you want to disrespect your opponent, play Bongcloud. But if you have maximum disrespect for them and want to take it even further, just play the advanced Bongcloud version. In this version, you start by playing f3, blocking your knight's favorite square. Your opponent doesn't know your brilliant opening and might play e5. Just play c3. Now, having created a clear path for your king, begin with king to f2. Your confused opponent will likely continue developing their pieces while you progress to e3, d3, c2, queen to e1. Your opponent might check you with bishop to f5, but that won't matter because you were planning to move your king to d1 anyway. You have successfully switched the queen and the king, leaving you with the worst position, undeveloped pieces, a vulnerable king, and no castling rights. This was played by Magnus Carlsen when he played against a European IM, and Magnus won the game. Double Bongcloud. The Double Bongcloud is a humorous chess opening that happens when you disrespect your opponent, and your opponent disrespects you too by playing k7. It became iconic after Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura played it online as a joke. They repeated king to e2 and king to e7 3 times, forcing a draw by repetition, showcasing their humor and confidence in a lighthearted match.
Magnus opens e4, the king's pawn, and Hikaru responds e5. Magnus plays king e2, but Hikaru had the answer. Hikaru played king e7, and for the first time in top-level chess history, we had a double Bongcloud on the board. And then something insane happened. Magnus and Hikaru shuffled their kings back and forth and made a draw by repetition. The chess world exploded. Some people loved it, and some people thought they were disrespecting the game.
Drunk knight. This is when your knight is drunk. It lands on the edge of the board without any purpose. Don't use this opening. Personal advice. The Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Gambit, ICBMG. Do you enjoy aggressively sacrificing pieces? The Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Gambit is made for you. You sacrifice tons of material in the opening, but if successful, you make your opponent wifeless. You will learn how to sacrifice a pawn, a knight, and a bishop to build up your intercontinental ballistic missile attack that will leave your opponent's position in unorganized chaos and destruction. You start your normal game. If they play pawn to d5, you sacrifice the pawn. They always take this, attacking the knight. You save the knight here and pretend to attack the pawn. The most played move is knight to f6 for obvious reason, to defend the pawn. Now you play d3, sacrificing another pawn. They will take it, then you take back with your bishop. In this position, this knight might be bothering your opponent, and they might try to kick it. You just play knight to f7, attacking both the queen and the rook. But the knight is undefended, of course. It's part of the script. Bishop to g3 check. Now the queen is defenseless, ready to be captured on the next move. Toilet opening. The toilet opening is a humorous, meme-based chess opening where a player starts the game, makes an odd or random first move, and then leaves the board, often jokingly said to play from the bathroom. It's not a real opening, but a playful reference to distraction, overconfidence, or mock strategy during casual or online games. Pawns attack. This is the opening where you push only the pawns, no other pieces at all, until your opponent checkmates you. One of the shittiest openings on the list. Hippo defense. The hippo opening is a flexible and defensive chess setup where players develop pawns to b6, g6, e6, and d6, fianchetto both bishops, and keep knights on d7 and e7. Shaped like a resting hippopotamus, it waits quietly before striking back. Though passive-looking, it's solid, tricky, and dangerous when handled with patience and timing. Amazon opening. The Amazon opening is not a standard chess opening where the queen moves out early. It's flashy but risky, exposing the queen to attacks and delaying proper piece development. Creepy opening. The creepy opening is a joke or meme chess opening where strange, unsettling moves like h4, h5s are played. It looks creepy because it breaks all normal principles, creating weird, unpredictable positions. Falcon punch. Before the game begins, you may open the match by punching your opponent in the nose as hard as you want. If he bleeds on a piece, that piece is removed from the board. If he gets knocked out, you win the game. This is called Tyson chess. In standard play, if you use this opening, your opponent will not win by checkmate. Instead, you end up in jail before the game even started. The flick knife attack. The flick knife attack is an aggressive variation of the modern defense, arising after e4 g6, d4 bishop to g7, knight to c3, d6 bishop to e3, c6 queen to d2, b5. It's a sharp, tactical setup where black quickly strikes on the queen side, aiming for counterplay and chaos instead of quiet, positional maneuvering. The orangutan. The orangutan opening, also called the Sokolsky opening, begins with pawn to b4. It's an unusual flank opening where white aims to control the center from the side. Though unconventional, it can surprise opponents and lead to creative play, often shifting the battle to unexpected areas of the board. Turtle. The turtle opening is a slow, defensive setup where a player builds a solid pawn shell resembling a turtle shell. A common start is pawn to e3, pawn to d3, pawn to g3, and pawn to h3. It focuses on safety, flexibility, and waiting for the opponent to overextend before striking back.